Packed out here. This car show started at 7 o'clock. It's about 8 o'clock now, so I'm about an hour into it. And it looks like there's a lot of variety out here. Got that Corvette, that C7. That's a clean ass truck over there too. A lot to look at. That's Maserati right here. This thing is nasty. This is the MC20. Haven't really looked at these close up. It's a pretty car. Some nice accents on it. What do you guys think about these MC20s? Pretty car.
For the 458, and I'm like, whatever, but the F8 is, I mean, you should drive the F8. It's,
haven't driven that car.
It's the 488 is a fantastic car.
Yeah, but like, you know, we used to have a 599, and I wish I hadn't sold that car because I would have driven it to Santa Barbara.
That's more of a Grand Tour, right?
Yeah, it's a great car.
You can drive all day.
Oh yeah, there were a handful of 599s.
Is that the first rally you took your 488 on?
I'm trying to think. I think it might be.
You wouldn't take it again because it just wasn't comfortable enough?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's a great car. I love the car,
right.
But not for. We drove straight home, not for 8 hours,
No,
7.5 hours of driving.
That's a long drive.
Yeah,
that's like driving from here to we used to go to Monterey Pebble Beach, and you know, you want something comfortable that you're not like beat up because you know, if you stop, you know, you do a layover in LA, but if you go straight through, that's a drive.
We broke up the drive over in La Quinta, but coming back, we needed to get back.
You let your wife drive the 488?
No. She wanted to drive the race car for a ladies event at the track.
That.
And I said, honey, you won't even know how to start it.
So my wife, she doesn't drive any of my cars. None of my cars. I don't let her near my car. She's the
told
worst.
her she could drive.
You know, none of them?
Fucking driver.
She can drive the
So
Lotus.
if you're tired, you just pull over. That's it.
Yeah, she cannot drive my cars.
Okay.
She's
Well, I'm going to give my wife your name and number.
Make sure your prenup's in order. Okay?
Yeah.
That's too funny. Yeah, I got my wife a Dino, a Spider, 4 years ago, and she can't fucking drive it. She's not tall enough.
Well, she's got the 458, so she doesn't want to drive the other thing.
No, she loves the Dino. She always liked that car, but she's not tall enough. And in her F8, she has to sit on a fucking pillow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. To reach the clutch?
Yeah, no, to just see over the hood.
Oh.
No clutch.
Oh shit.
So, anyhow, how long have you been racing now?
You know, I started 12, 14 years ago, and I don't race anymore now. I just track. But
where'd you go to school at to get your
car?
car?
I've done a handful of schools, some of the Ferrari stuff.
Right.
You know, gosh, years ago I did, before I started racing, I did Bondurant here.
I did that 3-day
Yeah,
course.
and,
I did it back when they were using Mustangs, before they were using Mustang GTs. That was a long time ago.
So we belong out at Apex, and we used to belong in California when we lived there to Thermal,
Right.
which is a great facility.
How is Apex?
Apex, they need to get the second or third
They
track
can't.
in.
Do you know why? Because they were car guys, not real estate guys, and they don't have any fucking water.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
I mean, I know I've owned lots of dirt down there. I knew that piece of property.
Well, and of course
I was shocked when they did it.
Well, now they have water, but for years they didn't have water, which it was, you know, stifled the development.
Right.
And you know, when they I guess got the property, they thought they were going to get water from the Indian tribe, but they didn't ask them, and they basically said F off. You're not getting our water.
Right.
And it's been a mess. But, you know, I mean, Thermal was developed by a billionaire
Right.
who had the money and the foresight. He's not really a car guy. But
Yeah, he's a business guy. He knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard the track is really nice at Apex.
There's 3 tracks, and the whole facility is world class.
Have you been to the other one that's in
Podium Club?
Yeah, have you been?
No, I was going to drive out there, and it's like an hour and 15 minutes from our house here in Scottsdale, and I said, screw this, I'm not going out there.
Well, what's
but
Apex?
I heard the track
45
is great.
minutes? Is Apex 45 minutes?
Apex for me is like 50 minutes.
Okay, so what's the difference between an hour and
20 minutes?
Jesus Christ! God.
Yeah.
Too
but,
funny.
No, have you been out to the Podium Club?
I haven't been to either one of them, but I see them all the time on my aerial maps.
Oh,
I see them on my aerial photos, and I want to go out and try it out. My son wants to.
You can take us both out there. I'll buy you lunch.
All right.
So, but I heard the track is really good.
Interesting.
And have you been out to Apex?
I haven't been to either one of those. I just see them on my aerial maps. And I read about them, and I know people that.
What part of Arizona is that?
It's in Maricopa.
Oh, Maricopa. Okay.
South. I remember the olden days. There's a track somewhere in southern Arizona, and a bunch of guys I know used to keep their cars parked down there, and they'd fly their planes down there. And I'm trying to remember where.
Well, you probably
So yeah, it's interesting.
Thermal's membership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've just been to Willow and a couple other tracks. I heard that's
Willow, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you buy a condo unit out at Apex?
No, there were 12 special memberships.
Oh, wow. Special deal where you didn't have to buy a unit or?
Didn't have to buy any land. There were a handful of guys out there where they could sell up to 4, quote, corporate memberships off their
one membership.
So I had one of those, and it was a good deal. And if we still had that, we moved here 3 years ago, we wouldn't be here. We would still be in California.
Interesting.
So, because we had a home in Santa Barbara, and then we had a home in La Quinta, and we would go back and forth. So when I would go to La Quinta, we lived like 12 minutes from the track.
Right.
From our driveway to the track. Hey, tell me something. You guys are car guys. So where is the 4th Saturday of each month? Where is that Cars and Coffee?
I don't know. I go to the 1st and I go to the 3rd.
Yeah, I go.
The 4th used to be that the toy.
The toy store in Cave Creek.
It used to be there. Jackson was in town. And it was no.
But then
they sold other units, so they.
Well, the Cave Creek one, it has to be the 4th because sometimes they're the 5th Saturday you miss it.
Yeah,
so
there's
it's only the
something
4th
out there. But where is that out there? In the Cave Creek area.
I've never been to that one.
I've been to that one.
And I've never been to the Highline one over at.
The Highline one's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's the first Saturday. But also, you would have to pick between that and 4 to 4.
Ranch.
4 to 4 is the first Saturday too, but that's like all Porsche style.
Okay.
So, are you guys members at Scuderia?
No.
I just joined. They have a lot of stuff, so it was worth it.
I should join. I've gone on a bunch of their tours of the collections in town, which are this town is unreal.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff, and I heard their Christmas party is
great,
over the top.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to go to their Christmas party.
I'm still trying to navigate the car culture out here. Just it's a little different where in LA you could just go to the beach and catch something in Malibu or go to San Clemente and hang out for the day, and it's pretty wild.
So do you want to just trade straight across?
I'm good. What is that?
That's the key to the Z.
Okay, I'll tell you, my daily driver is a Prius.
Well, I bought that as my daily driver, and I've been driving a Mini that we have, which I've got to sell. And but the Mini's like a little go-kart. It's so much fun. My wife hates it.
The greatest thing about the Prius, well, my kids hate the Prius. My son is embarrassed by it.
Well, that's what my wife says.
He won't ride in it.
It's embarrassing for you to be driving that. And I said, do you want to drive the Mini to the rally in Santa Barbara? No, we're driving it.
Right. Well, I will tell you that that Prius, I never worry about door dings. I don't if it gets stolen. It's easy to park. I mean, people laugh at me. I have all these other cars that are nice, and I drive the Prius every fucking day.
Yeah, no, I get the same thing. You know, we have some nice cars, but you know, my daily driver right now is the Mini till it's sold, and then I'll switch over.
Those are neat little cars too. I like
they're
the
fun.
Minis. Yeah,
and then I'll switch over to the Z, and then when the Lotus comes, I said to Patty, if I like the Lotus better, I'm going to dump the Z. We'll
and
make
you got
money
the
on it.
the auto, not
in
the stick,
in the Lotus.
In the Lotus.
Yeah, I ordered the auto, and I wish it was a dual clutch gearbox, which it's not. The Mini is, believe it or not, but it is a turbo. Maybe even be a twin turbo. I've actually driven the car.
The Lotus. I think
the
it
Lotus.
is twin turbo.
How many gears is it?
It's got, I think, 7.
Okay.
But once you get out of first gear is a little sketchy.
So was yours held up in the port in California?
No, because they're not producing any automatics yet. All they're producing is the 6-cylinder manual, and they were supposed to produce a 4-cylinder. I don't think they'll ever produce it. And then later in the year, they're going to start producing the autos. And I don't think ours will come until maybe November, December, maybe even January.
Well, they held my buddy Allen's up for I think 3 or 4 months in California, because it hadn't been approved for DOT. The
DOT smog
in
something
some states, and so they wouldn't release it.
Well, I was down at the dealer recently, the McLaren dealer, which is the Lotus dealer, and they had like a dozen cars in there, and they were waiting for DOT approval.
Oh, wow.
And now I've started to see them driving around. And then the one we ordered, yellow with a black roof.
Nice.
Which will be cool. Because my wife said, you know, we have all these metallic silver this, gray metallic that. Let's do something different. So
it's nice that you're including her in your decision making.
Yeah, I really don't want to drive it.
You're a good guy. You're a good guy.
Yeah. So,
Too funny.
yeah, no, it is funny, but yeah.